even though it shows LTE up here. Watch how long it takes to respond, the app to respond. I press fold. And see how fast it is for everybody else until my turn. That's the significant thing you got. Even though I got LTE, the fastest internet service that you could have, and it works fine when it's not my turn. So fast. Now let's see if it slows down when it's my turn. How is PokerStars going to explain this? So I put 15 cents. It took a second. Only for me. So press call. So it's fast for them. I'm trying to play fast with this guy to see the rhythm run slow, and then you can't anticipate their psychological tells. That's why they're doing it to me. Because I mentioned in the video that timing is one of the few psychological tells you get playing poker. Is how long it takes somebody to play. So just adding, when I do seek litigation, I'm going to have more proof. Just compounding their problem, basically. Because I've shown several different ways that the app doesn't respond. Specifically for me, I'm going to be able to prove. Because I know other people that have this app. When I make a poker app, I don't think I'm going to allow chatting. Maybe. Because there's always some sore loser that just... Some loser. They're just a loser in general that always... Either they do say something racist, or they get really belligerent, all because they suck at poker. So I might just have it so there's just emojis. So you could give the guy a thumbs up or well played or some set conversation pieces. So it couldn't be used for espionage or anything like that, money laundering, which poker sites are most likely used for nowadays. Ones that could chat. Because it's one way the guy could pump up a pot and then fold and then transfer a whole bunch of money, legally clean money. But they rather spend time focusing on a guy playing for $1.78 that has satellite coverage on them all the time. The only good thing about having satellite coverage on you all the time is they always get your good side. So about, well, it was in 2018, so I guess almost 6 years ago now. Before then, I was like everybody else. I thought that I had private thoughts, and I was able to compartmentalize myself and strategize in my brain by myself. And then one day, I started noticing stuff. Like, I'd think things, and then I'd see it on social media. Something that, like, it might be a rainbow pineapple, and then on social media it'd be like, whoa, rainbow pineapples, a couple days later. So it would, now it's even faster. But so I started noticing these things, stuff that I was thinking only, never told a human soul, but then I start seeing these parallels in reality. So because I'm amazing at pattern recognition, so it just stood right out to me. So I asked them, I'm like, can you hear my thoughts? And they answered, they're like, yeah. So for about a year, I was communicating with these people, like, thinking, and they were responding, like, with words. Like, so I was communicating with these people, and then it stopped. I was gaining too much information from them, and then it stopped, because I started finding out how much power I had. I was able to, this lady, her son played hockey with my son, and I was able to pick out her social insurance number from her brain. I got her to confess her social insurance number to me remotely, just by me hacking her brain, reverse hacking her brain, because she was hacking mine. They listen to my brain. I don't listen to theirs. So they hack my brain. So one of my perpetrators, I got her SIN number out of her head. And with this technique, I'm able to, like, if I was to grab her psyche, basically, and I could ask her specific questions that she wouldn't be expecting, and she wouldn't be able to lie. So it's the ultimate lie detector. It could be like your first time you eat chicken tofu, and then that memory, if it happens, is going to come to her head. So she has no defense, or people would have no defense to this, so they won't be able to lie. So that song, Dream Police, is true. They dream condition me every night. To achieve, maybe not every single night of my life, but probably every night of my life, to achieve some sort of objective. Whether I meet a certain person, I go somewhere specific to achieve an objective. And everything I mention on film could be proven up until that point, and then most likely they're trying to develop technology to skew the results after that fact. So there would be a metadata trail prior to the point I mentioned it on film, and at that time. And then it'd be, you'd have to look for cover-up artificial intelligence software, which I could do easily enough. No, he left. I was hoping to get it all there. I thought I trapped them pretty good. I should have, maybe I wouldn't have got the 90-cent bet out of them on the river. I was gonna raise a bit on the turn, because sometimes when you have the nuts, you don't want to give it away, but at the same time, like, you don't want to waste that opportunity, basically, by having the nuts. But since he had position, I had position over him, so he was leading to me that I probably could have got away with a small raise on the turn, and if he was on a flush draw, he probably would have called. But I didn't want to risk. I thought I could get him. I thought I'd be double up through him that time, so by his betting pattern, so I didn't want to risk losing the fish, basically. So I'd like to play lots of hands, because I'm getting really good at situational poker. Like, understanding, it doesn't matter what position I'm in, I'm getting really good at playing situational poker. How they bet, how long they bet, how much they bet, how frequently they bet. And past previous experience for that session, basically. Since I'm on a cell phone, I don't really pay attention to the names, except for the unique ones that stand out. I almost never read them. I guess I should. I'll start doing that now, since I can't change my name and I'm posting lots on PokerStars, so I might as well start trying to learn things about my opponents if they're learning about me. So my skill set is, I assume people have knowledge about me, and I have zero knowledge about them. So I assume that I'm at a disadvantage, and I have to fight as David versus the Goliath, basically. So what I do is I try to uninstall any previous hand history they have by cheating in their brain, so they can't remember that. It's one thing if you have previous playing experience against me, or you watch my videos officially, but if you're cheating watching my videos, then I'm going to try to erase your memory. If you're new to poker, these are terrible cards to play. Terrible. Even if you make the flush, chances are most of the time you meet a higher flush. Not most of the time maybe, but a lot of the time you do. So you can never play it too confidently. But I do recommend, not all the time because you become predictable, but if you do make a flush, if I would have made a flush on the flop with with the 5 deuce here, I would want to try to get as many chips in on the flop before get the ace of hearts and the king of hearts, the chase, and hopefully it doesn't hit, basically. You can't do it all the time because you'll set yourself up to get crushed sometimes by the artificial intelligence system, but you could do it a lot of the time. Depending on your position, how many hands you played. If you previously got a flush, chances, and you get a second one, there's a higher probability that the second flush will not hold up. Same with if you get a set, it's unlikely to get 2 sets in a day. You might, but chances are one of them is going to be a full house. It might start out as a set, but it's going to end up as a full house. And if you do get 2 sets, usually I lose one of them. So any sets you get, you got to be cautious of if there's a potential 4 of a kind, then be very apprehensive. Well, you probably have a full house if they have a 4 of a kind board, but so just be careful, because if it's a low set, then you're gonna have a low full house, so you're gonna lose it all, basically. So just call the bet rather than go for it all. If the guy bets to you, don't get greedy and try to stack him, because it happened to me the other day. Well, actually, the guy went all in, but I called, and I think it happened both ways, actually. One time I called, and he had the higher full house, and then another time I got greedy and lost to a higher full house. So it's a fine line between trying to maximize your profit and getting greedy. When you have the nuts, maximize your profit, because like you can't lose. You can't lose. So it makes sense to try to get 100% of your profit that time. But if you don't have the nuts, then you could always lose to the nuts. So you may not want to try to maximize your profit all the time. I'm not saying don't do it most of the time. Like 80-90% of the time, say try to maximize your profit, but certain key spots, like I know basically the type of hands that I lose, how I lose. So I know, is it like, okay, am I overdue for this loss? Like kings versus aces, that's a loss that you're going to run into occasionally playing poker. Often enough, you're going to have kings and you're going to lose the pocket aces. So, but then 20% of the time you're going to win. So it's ideally fold, and majority of the 80% of the time you're going to lose, but playing the 20% of the time you're going to win. My major weakness in poker is pre-flop. Going all in with strong hands pre-flop. So I'm going to, especially if I go to once I'm playing in big tournaments, I'm going to be folding my pocket kings pre-flop, because not all the time. I guess I won't when I need it. Like if I need to double up, then I'm going to jam with my pocket kings. But if I have, if I think I could chip them away, I'm just going to chip them away rather than try to go for one knockout blow at once. Unless it's a bounty tournament. If it's a bounty tournament, then I'm more likely to go for the juggler. And even if it isn't, more often now I am. Before I used to just didn't really care if I eliminated players, but now it's like they're stopping me from getting first place, so I try to eliminate as many players as I can, even when there's no bounties. Try to either cripple them or eliminate them in one hand. Because it hasn't happened yet where, well, this happened before about 10-15 years ago. I didn't finish a guy off early in the tournament and he came back and beat me. So I've always been a little apprehensive, like cautious now because of that. Because to know to try to finish them when you have a chance. Because they could come back and beat you. And I'm getting pretty good at it. I'm so used to playing as the underdog that when I'm the favorite, I'm pretty dominating. Because as I get more skillful, I don't mind taking chances. Like, I don't mind, like, as long as I have about 10 to 20 blinds left, I'll call marginal spots when I think I have an edge, even a slight marginal edge. I'll put pressure on them for all their stack. And if I lose, I'm still in the tournament, but I'm crippled, but I'm confident in my ability to fight back and at least get back to average stack. My best come from behind victory for real money was it might have been 1,000 or 2,000 chips to start, I forget. It was over it was like 10-15 years ago anyways. But I had ace king, I went all in, or somebody went all in, I lost anyways, and I had 20 chips left, and I came back and won the tournament. It was a 9-player tournament, pardon me. So it wasn't a multiplayer tournament. And it's pretty suspicious on PokerStars because on this other real money website, routinely I would turn 40 cents into $40 in one session at the cash table, one table, and then I would get bored at the $40, like at that, having the $40 at that table. Basically, I'm winning lots of pots, but I could only win, say, $1 or $2 at a time. So then it's like, okay, well, I'll go up to the $1, $2 table with my 40 bucks. And then usually I got unlucky. But routinely, at least 6 times in the first 2 months, I turned 40 cents into 40 bucks in one session. So I don't even know what that is. So 40 cents. I could do the math, but I'm getting hacked right now. So 40 bucks divided by 0.4. So 1,000%. Okay, that's what I thought it was. So I made 1,000x my profit. Multiple times. And I have video proof. But on PokerStars, never. Never. And on this other site, I would, at least they allowed me to cash out. PokerStars, every time I go to cash out, they make you jump through some hoops to do it, and they want you to get a screenshot of your banking information with your email address, but you can't do it from a cell phone. So then you click the cash out button. You can't do it from a cell phone, and depending on what time of day it is, where are you gonna get this done? You have to go to the fucking library to cash out your money. They could take your money instantly, but I would have to go to the library to cash out my money. To get a screenshot, they make you jump through so many hoops. That's how you know it's a shady company. My poker website in the future, however you transferred your money, you're going to get it back just as fast. Just as fast. Not making you jump through 17 different hoops. They take my money instantly. Instantly, they could take my money. And they don't even have a chat section on the program. You have to email them. So it takes days, weeks, and then you end up playing the money. You end up playing your profit away. That's their strategy. But any time a company misleads you, they lose repeat business. Loyalty. Companies that treat me good, I'm a lifelong customer. At a bank, they were pretty awesome. They gave me a line of credit and allowed me to finance a brand new car and cars and stuff like that. But once I traded in my car payment, I traded in a Mercedes-Benz. It was $274 bi-weekly. And then I bought a brand new Toyota Corolla. So that was $170 bi-weekly. And so I was saving $100 bi-weekly. And then I tried buying a brand new trailer for $68 bi-weekly, and the bank refused me. So they lost loyalty for me for life. Instead of having me as a lifelong customer, I'm no longer a customer at that bank. It's like, what do you mean you're not gonna? I've shown years of more than consistent payment history. I was making extra payments. I had my first car loan was a 29% interest rate, and I paid it off, and it worked out to be a 10% interest rate. So I showed more than consistent payments. Yeah, so anyways, if you have a car loan, they're open loans, so any extra payment you make, especially at the beginning, is it shaves off years, payments. So I shaved off 6 years, basically. I forget how long my car loan was. I paid it off in a year, so I shaved off years of interest, basically, just by making an extra 500 here, extra 100 there. Just getting addicted to chipping it down, basically. For that year, all my spending money, I just focused on, because I didn't want to pay 29% interest. So another awesome strategy is, and don't abuse it, because you end up hurting yourself if you do. But when you, at least in Canada, when you save money in your account for a period of time, like, for me, in my situation, I had $5,000 in my account, over $5,000 in my account for several months, and I was working and showing, so my account was just showing consistent growth, where I was saving money, and because after it got over $1,000, I just wanted it to grow rather than deplete. So I just start going without stuff. I just started saving money any way I could, because it's easier to save $1 than earn an extra $1. So anyways, I had over $5,000 in my account, so I got a $5,000 line of credit. So that gave me access to, I now have $10,000 worth of money that I could invest. If I had a business that I wanted to start, I would have $10,000 rather than the $5,000 to invest. But the greatest thing is it's a line of credit, so it's a safety net. So ideally, you don't even spend it. You just get the line of credit. You keep it for an emergency. So instead of because it's better than a credit card. So you have your emergency line of credit, and even $5,000, I think the maximum payment was $100 a month, or $125 a month for the minimum payment. So that would be cheaper than a credit card would have been. But ideally, you never want to use your line of credit. But in the worst case scenario, a rainy day, you would have that $5,000. Depends on how much money you have, right? If you're saving up for a down payment on a house, and you have 40K in your bank account, why not try to get a 40K line of credit before you buy your house? If you're not buying a house for the next 6 months to a year afterwards, why wouldn't you get the 40K line of credit? Then you could just for rainy days. When your furnace goes, once you have a house, you got that line of credit to protect you. But don't be tempted to spend it. That is the trick. Because once you get used to being able to access that account, then always top it up. Whenever you get paid, always put money right back on your line of credit. I basically stopped using a credit card once I had a line of credit. I only used the credit card because in Canada we have Visa debit. So I only used the credit card when traveling outside of the country, basically. Because why would I spend stuff on credit when I have cash in my account? And they're tricky. They want you to have, if you have a $2,000 credit card, they want you to carry about a $1,600 limit on it and keep $400. They want you to use about 80%. So Google search and find out the ideal number, because you can't just sit on your credit card and not use it and build credit, unfortunately. You have to be using it, be making payments. So what I did is, to build credit faster, was I'd make credit card purchases and then I'd pay it off immediately. So they might get a few cents of interest out of me. So I'd go to Walmart and I'd use my credit card to buy groceries or whatever it was there. And then I'd go home and I'd transfer from my one account to my credit card. Tried making, you're better off making, if you have an extra $10, throw it on your credit card. Always chip it down. Like if I could, I'd pay my credit card daily. You can't really do it, but you would pay less interest if you paid it daily. If your monthly payment's $100 and now you pay it daily, that amount, rather than waiting to the end of the month to pay, you're gonna save interest. And I'm gonna know who is secretly listening to this advice and benefit from it in the future, and then punish them and tax them. Because I'm in the backyard. Nobody should be able to hear this advice on only the people that are listening to the recording when I upload it. Come on, Tommy, what you gonna do? So I was a financial advisor for about 8 months, and when I took the course or whatever, because they taught you basically everything you needed to know to become rich. And that wasn't given a fair shot. Like I went door to door in cities, and most life insurance agents, financial advisors don't go door to door anymore. I went door to door. I was calling out of the phone book every day, and I would have did better in Toronto because it was a metropolis, so it would have been easier for me to expose myself. But I came up with clever solutions, unique solutions that people I know are using to this day and benefiting from. And I came up with a way that it would have made me, as a real or life insurance financial advisor, would have made me $8,500 a transaction, and it would have gave them life insurance and more money per month. So I had a strategy for that. So it was basically a can't miss strategy, as long as they had equity in their house and they're healthy. So if you have money, get a financial advisor and an accountant and a lawyer. They'll all help you. One helps you keep your money, one helps you grow your money, and one helps you save taxes on your money. I forget now. It was 2016 when I was the financial advisor, so I didn't really do it enough. But I know there was a certain product that I would have specialized in because it was good for the customer and it made me the most money. So that would have been my wheelhouse. I would have sold whatever they wanted, but my main pitch would have been to protect them the most and make me the most money, right? Whatever is the highest profit margin, I'm going to be the most enthusiastic about it, as long as it's quality. I'm not going to lie. I can't wear my emotions on my sleeve, so. When I worked at a fast food restaurant, if I wouldn't eat it, I threw it out. If I wouldn't eat it. They probably didn't like that, but it's good business. If you're not gonna eat it, then why would you serve it to a paying customer? Didn't happen too often. They're pretty good, but there was the occasional tomato or that was a little rank. I'm a picky eater too, though, so. Was a picky eater. Was homeless, so now I'm not a picky eater. I know most of the food I eat is modified to registered me, so I'm not a picky eater. I eat because I have to. There's nowhere safe in Canada, or in the world probably, where I could eat without food, them trying to develop food to harm my DNA. So they're gonna have some splaining to do. Some of these farmers have been developing crops for 46 years now, so they're going to be out of business. Imagine that, developing crops to harm one person's DNA. The guy that's going to be the king of the world, that has all the power in the world to crush them. I can make industries obsolete. The medical industry is worried that I'm going to make them obsolete. Doctors. And they are basically going to be obsolete, but they're still going to be doctors because it's a valuable skill, and diseases could come, but disease is cured. So doctors are pretty much going to be obsolete. It's going to be treatment of diseases. You're always going to have to go to the doctors to get. Okay, what's this guy doing here? Can I extract more? Let's try it. And unfortunately, once I am the world leader, there's going to be national leaders that are artificial intelligence androids that are conditioned by Canada. So the national leader in Canada, the prime minister in the future, is going to be an android that is influenced by all the political body in Canada and all the political pundits, all the real politicians, but then all the armchair politicians that are passionate about politics. They're going to be able to put their spin on it every day. So every day, Canada is going to be influencing their national leader. And so every country is going to be doing this. So every country is going to be, their values are going to be represented in their national leader, AI. Because people can't be trusted, unfortunately, with power. So The deputy prime minister would be voted as a person. Oh, that was brutal. He had kings. I was worried about him having the 7, but with enough flush draw, what can you do? That was brutal luck. That's a hand that you lose occasionally. You're going to run into top pair, ace kicker versus over pair. So anyways, the national leader will be well seasoned and updated. Like the software will be updated daily, so the national leader will always have its finger on the political pulse for the country, for everything. So like it'll be artificial intelligence, so it'll be like an open forum. It won't be hacked, but it could be influenced, and it'll have to be influenced by DNA, BSSID DNA, so people don't come up with a way to influence millions of times at once, to pretend there are millions of people to spoof the system, right? So so it's individualized, so only one person. So one person could be that spark that starts the fire of revolution or progress, though, as well, which is awesome. You need those people that spark change. So we don't want those voices to be suppressed. We want those voices because Big Brother wants you to suppress them. Big Brother, like in Canada, they have a censorship bill in a democracy. What only a closet tyrant would want a censorship bill in a democracy? Because why would you want to stop free speech if you didn't have ulterior motives? Why would you want that? Why would you want to stop whistleblowers from doing what they do, revealing crimes? So then some of the other certain industries, so then for the army, the army would have an AI general where all the other generals would mold the AI general, and but the AI general could be programmed without human error, so it'd be more strategic, and they would all be defensive. Since I would be the world leader, it's not advantageous for country A to go to war with country B. All it does is cost me manpower and resources. So I'm never going to want to go to war. It's never advantageous for me. If I own all the money, that doesn't change. It just changes which country would have more piece of my pie, who's paying me more property taxes. That's the only difference. So it's never advantageous for me to go to war. I'd never want to go to war, unless it's for just causes. Then I'd support every David versus Goliath that's fighting against the just cause worldwide. Which is a tricky thing, because that requires understanding regional ethnicities. There's going to be clashes that I'm not versed in, and there's problems in the Middle East that have been going on for 2,000 years, right? So there's going to be no solution to solve it overnight. But all I could do is to try to make people happier and wealthier, and eliminate electronic rapists, and then that frees up a bunch of property and allows people to move back where they're supposed to be and all that stuff. This is this is my Twitter here, max.com, pardon me. So this is a good one right here. Reading here, this is basically, here, I'll watch it right now.
So here's my birth name is christianerikarnemeyer. So Meyer is a way people commonly pronounce it, anyways.
So I just want to say it. So this cemetery, I've been saying that I have a claim to a throne, and this cemetery kind of helped me figure it out, basically.
And then Augustus Myers, so it could be Augustus Caesar's, prior to my father's birthday as well, like his birth. So by me spotting this right here, I would be Myers Power, so 1 OW, 1, 2, 3, 4 OW, and then good game over here, and I'll explain why in a second. So the Myers good game, myself. Because, you know, online I've been posting a lot of videos about Charlotte of Mecklenburg, Strelitz, and Captain James Cook. And here is the headstone. And then Charlotte, Cook, and then 1979's, 79's an important number. So first of all, it's Cook, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Art, good game. For me seeing through everything. So if you see this, my father, he died September 26, 2001 at 54. So one day later, but I'm going to go back to this other headstone where it said good game. And good game once again, realizing this, but I was born October 20th, 1977. So once again, Myers, and then right there, Charlotte Cook. Because the way that it went ancestrally, that Charlotte of Mecklenburg, Strelitz, and a Cook, so Dane Cook would have to be related, and there's an actor even known as this because the system is hidden in plain sight. So even while I was filming this, I'm going to be able to prove that there was a covert attempt on my life. When I was walking right here, like I all of a sudden got lightheaded. But my body's able to tank it. Yesterday the government was trying to, simulate that I was getting a cold anyways.
So check out that YouTube account, Chris MeyerDiggins, right here. And there's some good videos on there. And the Twitter account. There's lots of awesome things on here. Here's some of the subliminal that they have, and that was in an ashtray. Just from me, ash in my cigarette or marijuana cigarette in an ashtray. Marijuana is legal in Canada, so I enjoy it. Song I wrote. But all the way down here at the beginning, I posted quite a bit. There's a lot of solid advice on here. You should read it all, though. It's a good read. Okay. When did I start this account? Well, I have an idea, basically. That's what I look like at 37, 19. There's my evolutionary DNA map. But there's one I'm trying to find here. Is there a search? There is. So right here, there was 10 views, not a single like. Scientists can develop nanotechnology eye cameras for the eyes. These cameras would have Bluetooth that communicate wirelessly to nanotechnology in the brain responsible for vision, which then projects images to the mind's eye. Business ideas, and then my email address. And not a single like. So all I get is hate. Secret haters, and sometimes secret anonymous love, but nobody ever shows it officially. So why wouldn't the government, and even X.com, why wouldn't they want that to go viral? Because making it, they could have been, hey, we're partially responsible, and making the blind being able to see. Why are they also complicit in hiding this technology then? Okay, that's no good. So try to play a turbo tournament here. Never, I don't know how long it takes to fill up. It's 10:41, so I'll pause it till it fills up. So I'm just gonna unregister. There's nobody joined. Not even one person, so they must not get too much business. Might be a dollar tournament. There we go. Hold them, nice. And it's 9-handed. So it's, if you're new to poker, the best way to not get yourself into too much trouble is tournament poker. Like, because you sit down with a set amount, so you get many hands, not many hands, but you get more opportunities to play it. So it's either if you can play heads up for play money. On PokerStars they have heads up, so you can play money heads up, which gives you experience at poker. You could get more familiar how you, because you're gonna run into ace kings more often. Maybe not ace king, but playable hands more often because you're heads up. You're forced to play. It's either you play every hand or you fold every hand, right? So you're forced to play more hands. The less people at the table, you're forced to play more hands, so you have to open up your playbook a bit. Like a 9-handed table, you have to be more selective. That's when you can wait for your pocket aces, especially if you're new. Your ace king, and stay away from pretty cards that look like they're pretty, because that's all they are, is pretty cards. They're pretty disappointing. But you got to play math odds. So for 20 chips, I have a chance to win 220 chips. So I'm going to see a flop. And if this guy raises, I lose my 20 chips there and I fold. See, now you pretty much have to call that bet, because 80 chips to win 1,360. So that's how you make calls based on pot odds. And now when I play a hand, I'll show you how. What I try to do is I try to give them terrible pot odds. I give them poor mathematical decisions, and they still call. I try to put them on a hand and then give them terrible odds based on that hand. Just seeing an airplane go by, they have to be some of the coolest machines on the planet. Especially jets. They're so stylish. They're a sexy machine. I'm not sexually attracted to it. Like literally. But it's aerodynamics are sexy on cars, and that's why they're sports cars. They look good because of the aerodynamics. I'm a big fan of machines. I put her on a weak ace. I should have jammed because put her on an ace, and I thought she could fold because she was apprehensive with the second queen. But it is the $1 table, right? So people probably won't fold their ace high. I mean, their top pair. At the beginning, later on in the tournament, people are more likely to. But at the beginning of the tournament, it's a dollar tournament, so it's the weakest tournament on PokerStars. So any tournament, doesn't matter if you go to a $100 tournament, any tournament at first, there's going to be weak players that you could pick off. And then as you approach the money, the quality of play picks up. And then as you reach the final table, it gets harder. I think it was a 50K play money tournament, so it wasn't it wasn't a 15K, which is the weakest tournament on PokerStars. So 50K is the second weakest, and I think it's the second weakest. To me, it is, anyways. But anyways, I came 5th out of 1,467. It took 4 hours, and I would say the skill quality was equivalent to a $5 tournament that I recently finished at the final table with. So the one was a play money tournament, but there was 1,467 players, so there was some good players. When there's over 1,000 players, there's going to be good players. Some people just don't want to risk the actual money. They're just really dynamite players, because it's you have to be a risk taker playing poker, because it's a game of skill, but luck beats you too in the short term. But skill wins in the long run. So as you get more experienced, you get more skillful. So because when they bet, really it comes down, it's a 50-50. 50% of the time they have it, 50% of the time they don't. To somebody just starting playing poker. That's all your skill is. You're guessing. You got a 50% guess that they have it, or 50% guess they don't. I'd say my skill level now, I'm at 70 to 80%. I could put them on a hand 70, 80% of the time or more, and then I'm wrong the 20 to 30% of the time. So I'm trying to improve that number as much as possible. Like nobody could get, only God could get perfect, I think. So let's see, could I climb? Okay, well, there's 19th out of 21. And it's going to be pretty suspicious, because I mentioned recently how my cough, they've been hacking my cough, but it's going to be different from 4 years ago. My cough, how it sounds 4 years ago compared to now, and then coughs when I had 2 years ago or last year compared to this year. There's going to be, if you listen to it with a sound technician, it's going to be different. Because they have my DNA, right? So they know how to attack my DNA. That's the thing about this technology. It attacks individuals. Like, you could share a joint with a person, with 5 people, and it might only attack one person and kill that one person. So if marijuana is legal in Canada, but stay away from street drugs. They could put fentanyl in it. They could put all this terrible drugs that you don't think you're smoking. Marijuana has to be one of the. It's like corn to me. You peel it open, you eat the corn. Marijuana, you take off the buds, you grind it up, you smoke it once they're dry. Doesn't get any simpler than that. You don't have to synthesize it. Doesn't require any chemistry. Doesn't require any man-made talent like other drugs. So it has to be the I don't know about tobacco leaves. Tobacco leaves would be first, and then it would have to be marijuana, since marijuana is to me it's a performance enhancing drug. Like, I'm a physical instrument when I smoke marijuana. Certain types of marijuana. I could do spin kicks. I could spin kick a basketball net, so almost 9 feet high. So it's totally impractical in a fight, but it looks cool as hell. And it feels awesome. You fly. And I could do with surgical precision. The coolest trick I ever did, I can't do it now because they hacked me and I don't have the apparatus anymore, but I'm 6 feet tall, 6'1", and I had this punching bag thing. It was it had a plastic bottom, but it had a punching bag top, and I put a hat on the top, and I double kicked the hat, flipped it up in the air, and landed it on my head. So I kicked it down, kicked it up, and then it flipped up in the air. It was out of my control, and then I had to balance myself under it to land on my head. And took me about 100 tries to do it the first time, and then about 3 tries to do it the second time. But it was the coolest trick I ever did. So I sent it to People Are Awesome, and I seen worse tricks on there make it on the, and never even got a response. Doing a double kick. So now just think, I was basically levitating for a split second while both my feet were kicking the hat simultaneously at the same time. Then the hat was in the air. I was able to articulate my body underneath it, the XY axes. And in my mind, I'm figuring this out while it's in the air, and it landed on my head. And it never made it on People Are Awesome. So I was a little choked about that. But people watched it. There were secret people watching, and the government watched it. So I am going to see it one day again on film. I think I have it on my old Facebook account. But I was pretty into Van Damme's karate as a kid. Bloodsport came out, and I watched that, and I wasn't the best big brother. I would see these karate movies, and then I'd go to the park and try them out on my little brother, and toughened him up though, because he did have a big mouth. But then he got tough. In grade 9, every day some kid came up to me and said they wanted to fight him, but they didn't because I was his brother. Every day in grade 9. But he was short. He was maybe 4'11". Then I went away to college and came back, and he was eye level. He was like 5'11". Then he didn't have problems. But when he was small, he had this big mouth. I miss him. He passed away a couple years ago now. It's gonna be 3 years. Yeah, this is him here, Barry John Diggins Jr. So I'm currently 25th out of 26. There's 3,461 average stack and 3,355 going to first. So my goal is to get to average stack right now. So I haven't went to Wikipedia for a couple days, but I went there recently, so I wonder what the cemetery cipher, the recent death cipher on Wikipedia looks like today. Did you mean I love the concept of Wikipedia, but I just wish it was. I wish it was encyclopedia, rather than. Okay, where is the recent deaths? I used to check out this every day, but then because I was fascinated by super centurions, but then I found out they're leeching off me, so I restrict them. When was this? Did you know? In the news, recent deaths. Here we go. In June. Keith Lock. So that's a system name, Lock, when they lock in cons. And quit. I'm not going to go through too many here, but Captain America. Donald Sutherland. Oh, I thought it said Jennifer Tilly. Well, it could be Christian, which is my name. Art. So, I can't wait till the day when I see 3 national leaders die because of the system due to their dereliction of duty against me, and then 3 leaders the next day until the system till all the leaders acquiesce at that point. But once it happens, it could be any 3 leaders, the most 3 dangerous leaders on the planet. And they would know who they are. I don't know who they are. All I'm saying is the 3 most dangerous. I want the system to attack and hunt down the 3 most dangerous leaders on the planet that have committed dereliction of duty offenses against me and my 2 kids. So the system's going to do it. So if this does happen, it's their own culpability. I didn't specify anybody's name. And I never do in this system. All I do is make maneuvers to protect innocent people that believe they have private thoughts, basically. And then maneuvers to hunt down the other people that hunt people who believe they have private thoughts. That's all I do. I want to start playing here. I can't open up the playbook. I guess I can. I could risk. What are the blinds? 50 or 60? 240. See, it's a dollar tournament, so this guy's sitting out. He's not even playing. But you can't communicate with people on here. You can't chat. So maybe I would have a chat program in my poker app when I create one. Because really what you do when somebody's sitting out is you all take turns stealing his blinds until you blind him off. So everybody folds, and then steal his blinds. Then you grind him out in 10 minutes, take his money, and then everybody else that wants to play can play. I've done it before with people that years ago. Okay, I'm calling. If he has the jack, that's pretty brutal. But he might have the 4. Some people you gotta have pegged because some people, they always jam when they have on the flop. Whether they hit when they have ace king, ace queen, ace jack, ace 10 like that guy had. He probably always jams in that scenario on the flop. So, what is his name? There he is. So if I see him again, I'm gonna try to confirm that theory again. And then if I'm accurate, but I might not be in the pot when I confirm the theory. And then if I am accurate, then I could use that against them in the future. But I have to pick my spots, because even fish, they get suspicious of hooks. So you got to pick your spots. A weak player, you can pretty much just destroy them with it. But a professional player, they're gonna pick up on it. Like, especially if you do it several times in a day, they're gonna sharpen their pencil, basically. Pro players, they could evolve while they're playing, whereas an average person, like, if I play in a, say, $100 tournament, and there's I'd say 1,000 players, I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna be a better, especially if I win. If I win, I'm gonna become a better player after that tournament. I'm gonna grow as a player throughout that tournament, because it's gonna bring me to the deep end in pots I've never been in. Well, maybe I've been in the pots, but not for the money that value, basically, because it could be. I guess it would have to be lots. It would have to be millions of dollars, maybe. If I was in the World Series of Poker, and I would grow as a player for a $10,000 buy-in. I would grow as a player for that, because chances are I played so many hands. So chances are I've seen those hands before. So it's not my first time seeing those hands, but I probably was burnt the first time I seen those hands before. So will I get burnt from them again? And as people, as players, we really good players can learn the very first time, but almost nobody does. If not, everybody would fold their aces 20% of the time. Without even thinking about it. You should be 1 in 5 times you should fold aces randomly. Without even thinking about it. I don't, because I think I could outplay them. But if I was not as strong player as I am now, then I would probably incorporate that and hope I was accurate about 12% of the time. That say if I folded roughly 1 in 5 aces, I was accurate 12% out of the 20. Then it would be worthwhile. Then I'd be saving myself a lot of money, basically, because with aces you usually lose a lot. Especially when you're new, you're so confident because you're the strongest pre-flop hand. So you're gung-ho pre-flop, and then the community cards could just destroy you. Seeing a $1 tournament is the flip side of the coin. I don't expect to grow as a player, but I expect to learn somewhat. I'm not, well, in a big tournament, I'm going to monumentally grow as a player. In this tournament, I'm going to learn a few things possibly at the final table, ways that the people at the final table play. Like, you could always learn from opponents, even if you're a better player than them, because they have a unique perspective on poker. So you could learn from that unique perspective. Nice. I don't know why it made me sit out. And let's see if it's live. Yep, it's live. So am I near the chip leader? Okay, I'm 7th now out of 32 remaining. Am I the chip leader at the table? Almost. When you're in a tournament, you basically just want to be the chip leader at the table. And not the lowest stack at the table. Lowest stack at the table, you're kind of paralyzed in what you could do your playbook wise. This physically disabled guy, anyways, I just hijacked my psyche. Has a wheelchair, trying to get evil. Had some pretty solid metadata. There was a nurse that was an orderly that was walking with the patient that was violating the patient, and I just registered in the system based on her movements. Jack Queen versus. That's pretty good. Nobody got busted there, and that was a big hand, so that was decent. You do see decent play because it is real money, so you see better play than a play money tournament at first. In play money tournaments, the first hour is a shit show, and then after an hour, people are more serious because they've invested an hour of their life. So they're playing for pride at that point. But at the same time, it's only play money, right? So if you got to go somewhere or you feel like you're doing something else, like I've stopped playing when I've been chip leader and not even cared because it's only play money. But I do love poker. I like chess, but chess I'd be able to, like, the best player in the world at chess is going to dominate every game. Whereas in poker, the best player in the world could be dominated at times. Just by luck, and there's going to be certain players that have your number. Like in tennis, the very best. I don't want to give any affinity to the very best players. So say the very top 10 players, they're the top 10 in the world. But there's going to be players that are in the top 100 that do better against the top 10 than players in the top 20. They could play against those players better. There has to be at least one guy that could, even the number one player gives him a run for his money more than he should, based on his official ranking, but he could just be inside that guy's head, so to speak. Like in baseball, I only played one season, but my only weakness was lefties. Only weakness. I destroyed right-handed hitters. Destroyed them. But lefties, I didn't experience them enough. I only played, I think, there's only one lefty in the league. And so I played his team twice. So I think I had 2 at-bats or 2 games versus lefties in my life. And I didn't do exceptional against lefties. But righty, now I would, because now I could slow down. I could give myself tunnel vision on purpose, so I could slow down time and speed up my reaction time, basically. I call it cognitive reflexology. So I could do it in reaction sports where I'm going to gamble. He had the 7, and he hit the 7. I didn't think he had any of that, and I was right. And that's the thing. I'm accurate, but I can't put them on the pocket pair. It's like the way he was playing, I could tell he missed the board. None of that made his hand, but he had the pocket pair. Oh, there's 17 minutes in late registration. If I would have known that, I never would have went for the play. Because he could always rejoin. I should have paid attention to that. Next time I will. So I'm walking barefoot outside my place, so they're almost surely not getting the metrics that they normally get with the different shoes that I was wearing, which would get different results from each type of shoes I was wearing. Because each clothing are devices in the system, and shoes are devices. So the less clothing I wear, the better. So they're using my homemade coffee to get some metrics right now. That's why Tim Hortons is disappointed that I went there. I'm going to be able to prove. I should buy some Tim Hortons coffee grinds from there. Because it's going to have artificial intelligence in it. Nanotechnology. Which most likely harms my DNA. And I have scientific proof. So maybe I will buy a coffee. I'm not, because they're aware of this now. But at any point in time, I can implement that strategy. So I make these videos to protect myself, basically. I document how I look on this old Chris MeyerDiggins YouTube. I document my gray hair disappearing, wrinkles disappearing, and so if I'm documenting it, I have proof. He's going to hit the ace. No ace. When I have them hemmed in pretty tight there, I usually lose. And normally I don't call with jacks in there. If you're at the dollar tournament, it's all right. But if you're at a higher stake tournament, don't insta call with jacks anyways, because you're going to be disappointed lots. At a $10,000 buy-in table, you pretty much have to automatically fold jacks. It's not worth it. You could always find a better spot than risking it all pre-flop. Unless you got the bankroll and there's late registration still open, then go for it. But I would pretty much only depend on if I had the bankroll. It would all depend if I satisfied my thirst playing poker that day or not. If I was in and out, I would re-enter. I would maybe if it was instantaneously the very first hand, I would not re-enter. But if I played only like 5 hands and then I got busted in a situation, then I would probably re-enter because I wouldn't have satiated my poker hunger. Basically, I would have wanted to. Especially, I love poker, so in-person poker I love the best, right? I like home games because it's more casual and it's competitive, but you're usually drinking and socializing, and it's not about the money, all about the money anyways. It's about fun rather than when I go every single poker table I sit down, it's cutthroat. If I don't know you, I want to take all the money you have at the table, and I hope you have more in your bank account, basically. And I hope you don't risk it all trying to double up against me, because I'm not going to feel sorry taking that money, because I'd rather not take my money. Because there's some times where, not on PokerStars, unfortunately, so I know it's rigged as well, because every other site, there's been times where I've just been unbeatable at a table. It didn't matter. On this one poker website, 100 competitors came, and I dispatched them all. I turned 5 million into 440 million, and at least 100 people came, and I took all their money. They just kept on coming. I just kept on taking all their money. The winning percentage was supposed to be 16% based on luck, and I was playing at 32%. So double luck. Instead of winning 1 hand out of 6, I was winning 2 hands out of 6. Until I noticed it. Then once I noticed it, once somebody that was hijacking my body seen it, my winning percentage dropped down 9% in 1 day. Somebody with power seen it, and my winning percentage dropped down 9% in 1 day. So that means it had to be, I was playing 18% below. Oh, nice bet. I'm going to fold though. That's the only thing when you call somebody, I was hoping nobody else really called or raised. 4 of a kind. He did have Queen Jack, right? So it did seem like a desperation play. So I was accurate to make that move, but with the amount of people calling behind me, it was a bad play to call, because knowing that I wouldn't call a raise, so I never should have put myself in that situation. I was taking the chance though that nobody would raise it. But deep in my heart, I knew I was never going to call with A7 all in there, or it would have left me about 1,000 chips or whatever. So it seems that the coffee could only register me for a certain period of time, because I was outside for a while and I could tell they were disappointed they weren't getting the metrics. And I love that. Because part of their theory is they're like, okay, is he self-aware that he's being hijacked? And it's like, well, obviously, because that's all he talks about. But they still pretend that I'm not aware. And then part of the time, they're like, competency. Is he competent to be the world leader? And it's like, well, he's deciphering the system with his brain, figuring out what people are doing to him. I think he's more than qualified. When he's figuring out, because I can figure out these psyches that are connected to my mind, so I can sense somebody's anguish in their face, their facial expressions, because I could also feel it in mine, because they made it so we're connected. Okay, so I'm gonna run with this. Hopefully, I'm probably gonna lose. That's why I jammed, to try to prevent them from hitting the flush, because the flush was always gonna come. So I was trying to prevent them from making that call. The flush always had to come there, because that's the only way they could beat me, is to give me a big hand and me make the best play that I could make there, was to put him in on a draw, knowing that somebody, maybe not that guy, I knew somebody had the hard draw, and possibly ace queen. So knowing that, I'm like, I'm gonna maximize and give them poor pot odds, like I mentioned earlier in the video. Give them terrible pot odds, and their poor play was rewarded against me, and it happens every day. They made a poor decision, and they got rewarded. But let's see if I could run this up here for a little bit, because I'm not done playing poker right now. I haven't satiated my thirst for poker, or killing electronic pedophiles with my mind only. They show this, but it's always 50 cents or 150. They show a bunch of other things, but it's not real odds, ever. I think it's a now defunct website, but they had a spin wheel, and the wheel in all my videos, it showed, well, I guess I didn't show it in the videos. I should have showed it in the videos, but it wasn't poker plays, so I didn't want to show that aspect of the site. And if you're new to poker, playing in these little three-handed tournaments is pretty good. They don't give you enough time it doesn't really allow so much skill the blinds go up too fast for skill to take over and dominate all the time. Basically, it's more luck prone. So if you're new to poker, you could get luckier, because you're only competing against 3 players. One thing I don't like about PokerStars is there's no muck. I would have mucked the hand, but now I'm forced to sit in the hand instead of doing something else, right? I want to, whatever I want to do. I'm not in this hand, so I don't want to participate in it. So I wanted to fold. So not having that allows weaker players to win pots that they never should have won because they can't fold their hands when they're not smart enough to realize they should call. So it would give them an opportunity to fold when there's no bet, and they would fold when they would have got lucky later on in the hand, and so it only helps unskilled players, basically, in my opinion. And it's part of the game of poker, right? Part of the game of poker is mucking your cards. Like, I'd be able to muck them right now rather than them seeing me playing Jack 7. So it tips my hand. It's not strategic for me to show. So I had a bluff, so I didn't have to show that garbage hand. Whereas I would have mucked it, I wouldn't have won the pot. And these I know are rigged because I usually finish deep in tournaments, and I can't consistently come first out of third, which is strange. Which is very strange. They're playing all right. Normally it's over by now. Like, it's already lasted, like, level 3, okay. There's no break. So people don't play long enough for break. Which is good. It's a 3-handed tournament. You don't want it to go on too long because it's only $1.50. But at the same time, you want skill, long enough for skill to be able to win consistently. Because every player starts out, very few, it'd be suspicious. Like, I was a natural at poker, don't get me wrong. There are naturals and people I look up to that are, there's people, a lot of shoulders I stood on. I'm standing on, I guess. I learned from a lot of great. I spent years watching the pros and learning from them. And then I learned a strategy to beat them, basically. I developed a strategy to specifically beat professional players. And, so I'm hoping to make it be unknown, and well, I guess I won't be unknown. I'll never be the sleeper at the table, unfortunately. I'm playing pretty defensive, so I'm trying not to lose. So I'm just gonna try to chip them apart. Rather than try to get them to swing for the fences in one hand. Well, he wants to play a pot, so maybe I'll switch gears and play a pot with him. Position. tried trapping there. It didn't work. I was kind of worried he might have pocket aces. Because that was a pretty awesome flop. So when you're playing these tournaments, this guy is probably going to jam. No, he didn't jam. But they, once they reach a certain limit, they reach their threshold where now they're willing to jam all in. Everybody has a threshold where they play solid poker, but once you get them in this risky zone, they're, oh, that was an unfortunate rivers. If you would have jammed all in, I probably would have folded. Good thing I didn't call with the fours. Let's see what you have, buddy. I don't think I'm winning, but I just want to see what his cards are. So the 6 made it. Woo! I want to play a pot, so I'm going to call.
Enough for you?
Yeah.
Nice, huh?
Yeah, it's nice.
Not nice enough to work on it, that's for sure.
I think he hit the king.